Migrante é o amor da sociedade. Mas, Jê, estás quase a apanhar overdose, não? Vai no médico antes que não fazes paragem cardíaca. Ai, ai,
Passou na televisão, galinha engripada contamina o arão. Juro, ouviam bem na rádio, parente avariou, saiu a correr no estádio. É verdade, juro, e ontem no jornal bondaram o bandido, um islamista rádio. É verdade, juro, passei a ser otário. Já não falo com os meus irmãos, arranjei um amigo imaginário. Bem-vindo, bem-vindo, bem-vindos ao século dos junkies da informação. Estamos todos dopados, não temos sequer opção. Não procuras, ela te encontra e te aplica injeção.
isto ela tua sem dar conta, mão do teu gosto e opinião.
Senta, saboreia a sensação. Tenta controlar a tentação, meu irmão, de pegar no controle remoto. Sem novela e desporto, tempo para o teu canuca. Isso é que não foi. Pensa, não leva só injeção. Essa cabeça não é para decoração. A máquina fala connosco e até nos dá lição. Nos diz quem é Deus, o bom, o mau ou o vilão. É verdade, juro, passou na televisão. Galinha engripada contamina o arão. É verdade, juro, ouvi ontem na rádio. Parenta variou, saiu a...
Okay. Let's start. So welcome to join. Welcome here to this like food travel dialogues. This is like a travel together that we are doing since the last UN Food System Summit. We started properly these days in order to travel around the world and discover new food system and food innovation. And properly together, today we are facing the topic of food innovation. It's our second stop. The first stop was with Pramisha Taripaya and Joachim Divine, properly from Rome. They were in Rome, where the Food System Summit was happening. And the step 2 is also traveling around another nice appointment that is the pre-COP, but we will discover much more on the other stop, not today, another stop that we are planning for the next week. But today, as I said, we are focusing on food innovation. And we are doing that with the two amazing girls, two amazing women that are very, very committed to agriculture. As you can see from my screen, we have with us Pauline Owiti from the Pauline Foundation. Hi, Pauline. Welcome to the talk.
Hi.
Hi. And Rita Kamukule, that is an agri-entrepreneur from Zambia. Hi, Rita.
Hello, Vito.
Hi. So let's start our discussion. So thanks first of all for accepting the invitation to this event. And yeah, who better than you, I can say, can talk us about how youth are engaged in food innovation. And I will start properly asking a brief introduction of yourself and your experience on the field of agri-innovation. So let's go, Pauline and Rita. So Pauline, to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dominica. I'm Pauline Owiti from Kenya. I come from the western part of Kenya. I'm the founder of the Pauline Foundation, a community-based initiative working on promoting organic farming. Well, actually, I'm a professional agronomist, so I studied agriculture at the university for 4 years. I was mainly dealing with perennial crops like sugarcane, pyrethrum, sisal, and I also studied coffee and tea. But basically, I'm promoting agriculture in the western part that cannot support those perennial crops apart from sugarcane. So I'm promoting vegetable production. I'm promoting cereal production, something that can help them within a very short while. Yeah, thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now the floor to Rita. Rita, to you to introduce yourself and tell a bit about your activity.
Okay, Beto, thank you. My name is Rita Kamukule. I'm from Zambia. I'm an agriculturist. So when I was in school, I focused much on identifying and analyzing problems in agriculture. I've led me business system, which is called approaching farming as a business with a discipline. What I do is I teach organic farming and climate change to farmers. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you. Thank you very much to Rita and Pauline. We have discovered their activity on the field, and yeah, as I said, they are clear example on how to foster innovative agriculture. But innovative agriculture nowadays means climate smart, also something that is related to making agriculture together with our environment in our integrated way with our environment. And probably the second question of our brief interview and of this food travel for you is, what do you think are the most challenging priorities for agriculture nowadays to innovate, to become climate smart? So how, for example, which are the main challenges to come from a traditional agriculture to a more sustainable agriculture? So the floor to Paulina and Rita then.
Okay, thank you very much on that. First and foremost, one of the challenges is resources. When you want to talk about increasing production to enable us feed a certain population, we'll be talking about having the inputs. So with the inputs comes with resources. We'll have the labor, we'll have the things like fertilizer that we are providing for the agricultural purposes and some other stuff. If you don't have a capacity to have that, then that means you will not be producing, and that's a challenge. Another challenge is that we don't have that perfect education to provide us with the perfect agronomical practices. You only get to learn a better way of doing something or a better way of increasing your productivity only when you have the knowledge, only when you have attended a certain extension class, because you find that the previous knowledge do not actually work right now. As much as they are good, they actually don't work at this era, because we are trying to feed a very large population, and there's so much soil degradation that has happened and a number of factors. So you must have that knowledge that will enable you increase your production. And we also have certain policies, either by the national government or the local government, that do not really support production in the agricultural sector. So if we have poor policies, if we are taxing the local people that are producing, if the government is taxing them high that they cannot pay, then that means there'll be a problem in the agricultural sector. So those are the three major challenges that are facing most people that are working in the agricultural sector.
Thank you, Pauline, for clearly stating which are the challenges that you find in the agricultural field. And now the floor to Rita for your point of view.
Okay, Victor, thank you. Firstly, you have to understand agriculture in Africa. Mostly people who practice farming are people from rural areas. Then the second thing that you have to understand, the difference between a rural area and urban areas is that it's more like access to information. In urban areas, we have access to information, but in rural areas, there's lack of information. And we also have to put in the aspect of the social aspect, where they have difficulty to access of education, just quality education there is very difficult. So you have to understand the people who are dealing with. As Pauline was saying, they use indigenous information. So you see, a system can be created for them, but their level of understanding is very low. When it comes to, I've gone to a village whereby they don't even understand what climate change is. Then we're talking about climate smart agriculture. So here, what we are supposed to do is go mostly people who go there to teach them, they go there with the impression of just system adults. But we need a mentorship to these challenges.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rita. And now, yes, now.
Can I add something to that?
Sure, go ahead.
We've been having like increased or improved technology in the agricultural sector. You find that a certain species or a certain variety or a certain clone that have been developed to be produced majorly in one area, be it a variety or a species of livestock, a species of like a new crop that is not have that capacity to get it. So also, I feel like technology have been a major setback in this sector of agriculture, especially in Africa, yeah.
Thank you, Pauline. Yes, also I agree on the technology part, but I think that also with technology we can foster new ways together, integrate like traditional knowledge with technological advancement. And properly on that, I go on the second question of this brief interview. Then also we can like ask the participant to engage into the discussion, because as we said, this is like a dialogue, so an open dialogue that we make for all the participants. But yeah, the second question, just to warm up, we understand the challenges, but the opportunities, especially for the youth, for making like a sustainable agriculture and a climate smart agriculture. Pauline, to you.
Yes. Actually, we have a lot of opportunities in agricultural sector. Majorly, you find that most of the youth do not really take agriculture that serious. Few of them take it serious. And you find that people that are farming are either the old age or they're in their 40s or their 50s. So most of the youth are not in the agricultural sector. They don't really feel the benefit that comes with the agriculture. Maybe it might be because of knowledge or resources or something like that, but they're not there. I feel like there's so many opportunities in agricultural sector that they could explore. When it comes to like employment, agriculture offers a lot of employment opportunities for the youth in all stages, be it production, be it processing, be it in retail. It offers a lot of opportunities. So maybe that is something they can look up to. And then with the changing world, it can also help in improving the education system. Agriculture is something that we rely on day to day in food, in health, everything. So maybe they can take that opportunity, the educational factor of the agricultural part, so that they can improve their lives. Yeah.
Thank you, Pauline. Rita, you.
Yes, Vito, I think we have so much opportunities when it comes to young people. What they just lack is just a little bit of information, because mostly people are shifting, because mostly the system here in my country is that people, even when it comes to career choices, they go with what they're employing most. So agriculture, they don't see it as maybe a career that people can venture to. But now I think it's just the change of attitude. People have started to change. I've talked to a lot of young people, and a lot of people, it's just a challenge. Maybe it might be just resources, because starting farming, you need to invest a lot more. So there's so much opportunities being given resources that are available.
Thank you, Rita. Yes, and I take the chance for like the last like a panel question. Then I say that let's also give the participant the floor to some questions and curiosities. But yeah, we have touched a very great point. That is the point of youth. That's very important for this initiative, because of course this initiative has been run also to like engage more youth in this food system change. And it's important also because, as I stated at the beginning, we jumped from the Food System Dialogue, Food System Summit, to another big event that is Pre-COP and Youth for Climate. And youth are on the center. And how we can engage youth and get acknowledge youth about the opportunities and so on. So it's a very strong question, I know, and I want to be trivial on that, but it's like our common struggle in these days, properly to understand how we can engage these youths in this great change and challenges that we have in front of us.
Okay, so for somebody to love something at a certain age is very difficult. You have to start nurturing that person at a younger age. So it just have to do with the curriculum and the education system. If we get to introduce agriculture at a lower level, then they'll get that urge to learn, because they'll be understanding that this is where food comes from. This is where we like rely on our daily lives. So they'll get to learn that bit by bit. So for them to get to understand it, it must be introduced in the curriculum, and that thorough, the practical knowledge we are talking about. And then we should give them like opportunities or platforms that are kind of related with the agricultural sector. We have so many platforms that are there for the agriculture, but who tends to be there in these platforms that make decisions, especially for our foods, especially for the agricultural policies? They're the older people. So what we can actually do is like get platforms for the youth so that they can make decisions that actually regard the policies, the agricultural policies that can be used, and any other thing. And then we should just encourage them. I know we have like, we call them TVETs. TVETs, like tertiary education systems. So we can just, it's like giving them sponsorships to go and study agricultural courses, to go and study courses related to agriculture at the tertiary level. So like the government or institutions can decide that this year, from those who did their 4th grade, their 12th grade, we can actually sponsor 1,000 students to go and take like agriculture at the tertiary level. That can motivate them to do that, because they are going to do it free and they'll get to learn it. And like they have projects, like the projects you do in high school. You know, if you are in 12th grade, if you're taking agriculture, there's this project you always do. Like you are given a small demonstration farm to have a project. So this is the same thing that can be replicated at the tertiary level. So they're not now given demonstration like plots, but they're given a better plot where they can do that, and they sell their produce. That is like nurturing them to take part. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. To Rita.
Yeah, I concur with Pauline, because mostly we have to start with the foundation. The problem that we are facing right now is because we're trying to start it from the top, and we're trying to leave the foundation. If we can start from, we have grade 1 here, from grade 1 to 12, someone can learn agriculture. There are certain young people who can take key interest in agriculture. So if we start from the foundation, I think things will be better, rather than introducing the agriculture at the later stage. So that's what we're trying to do with climate justice clubs. While we make clubs in schools, young people can be part of, can go to the government and say, at a certain village, they say they see something wrong, maybe miners come in, waste pollution, they can talk about these issues. It's just like agriculture, they can have a small, at a school, there can be a small space where they practice agriculture, they can grow their own food, that being nurtured from the foundation.
Thank you for these great inputs. Yeah, I totally agree. And as you said also, it's important to, first of all, start from the foundation, so start from education. And of course, I very like the point of Pauline when she said also involve them in practical, I don't know, experiences or finding innovative project on the field. Because one very important thing that I strongly believe is that involving youth in also climate smart agriculture and also in fostering like the change of food systems stand also in the fact that the youth can bring innovation. The topic of today is proper innovation, and can radically change some system that maybe are like very routinary, very stuck on theirs, like I don't know, practices that are common and nobody wants to change. But the youth can have their like innovative force in order to like take care, of course, of the traditional ways that are very important and so on, but also add some elements that comes from their time, from their experiences. So I don't know if you want to add further elements on these topics, Pauline and Rita. And even though I also open the floor for the discussion wall, if you have some questions and so on.
I wanted to give a certain example. When we were in high school, we used to go for like science contests. So basically science contests, you come up with a project, innovative project, and you like showcase it among other students. So the science contest of high school was not really a good platform. Why? Because the school, or rather the institution, will not provide you with the basic resources you need for your your innovation. We could look for something like cartons or a plastic or a paper and try to demonstrate what you are doing instead of looking for like the actual thing and demonstrating it if actually it works. So if at all like people are or students or pupils are given like the real resources, provided with the resources that they could just use it for their project and see if it's really work, then innovation will be at the top notch in most of these countries in Africa. And then just like you said, indigenous knowledge is always something very important. We rely on it, especially when we are teaching this organic farming thing. Indigenous knowledge, we really incorporate it because that is what we were using before. But right now, because of the soil degradation stuff and the climate change and everything, for us to adapt it and like get used to it, we just have to go back to the indigenous knowledge. But the issue is it really serving us correctly, or are we really doing it correctly? So those are the factors that we should look at, ways of like putting in together indigenous knowledge and modern innovation so that we can like have high production that is sustainable without actually harming the environment or something. Yeah.
Thank you, Pauline. So if someone wants to add something, want to also ask something to our Pauline and Rita, so now the floor is open for open discussion. Yeah, I saw in the chat that Chris is like approving your point. Soil regenerative agriculture is the way to go. And I don't know, Chris, if you want to add a few points on your writings.
Thank you very much, Domenico. Good discussion that you're having. I was recently invited to this chat. To this meeting. I didn't know much about that it existed. So my addition is that we in the region are already starting to support especially youth and women in agriculture via an organization called the Greenfluent Foundation, as well as our partner, which I'm also part of, which is BioRaiser Zambia, which we manufacture climate smart fertilizer. So Pauline's point was that we use, new technology and the old ways, which is exactly what we're doing with Greenfluent Foundation by using new technology such as non-toxic new climate smart fertilizer by BioRaiser, mixing it with composted material that we used to do in the old ways, and making a new base or dressing that improves the soil structure. And when used with conservation farming techniques, you then have a soil regenerative agriculture program that leads you to a sustainable way of getting higher production while making the soils better. So all our top dressing in that foundation is all organic top dressing. So nothing actually kills the microbes in the soils, which are the fungi, the fungi and the microbes, which are actually the stars of the show when you're talking about regenerating the soil. So I just wanted to acknowledge Pauline's point there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. So we have still a few minutes, so go ahead if you have some intervention or if you want to ask something. So don't be shy. I don't want to say trivially this. So anyone want to intervene is very welcome.
Sure. Just a question for Rita. In Zambia, because we're also based in Zambia, what demo sites or sites where you're encouraging the youth to farm are you currently hosting? Or if not, are you open to hosting some with the Greenfluent Foundation? Thank you.
Yeah, I was working with an organization in Pika. That's why I was supporting this production, which was, I was supposed to teach organic farming, but due to situations, things didn't go the way it was supposed to go. But right now, I'm open to working with any organization that's promoting organic farming.
Okay, thank you. Where are you based?
Ndola.
Okay, I think I've got your email. We'll talk offline further.
All right.
Thank you. And yeah, we have still a few minutes, so please go ahead with the, okay, I see a raised hand from Ellie. Yes, Ellie, you can go ahead, please.
My name is Ellie from Zambia. I want to just make a comment from the previous speaker from Kenya, I think. She was talking about the agriculture in the education system. I think that is a very, very valid point that she raised. Just to talk about Zambia, I've been influential from the education angle, the education system through the curriculum, where today we have ag science and entrepreneurship, because we came to understand that introducing certain topics at a later stage in a child became very, very difficult for adaptation. And they
I think we lost you for a few. Ellie? Okay, maybe in the meanwhile that Ellie is recovering the connection, if there are any other interventions.
Okay, so still on like ways of how we can reshape the food system. to like climate smart way, especially in Africa, because I feel like we need that much in Africa. So what of creating an enabling investment climate for sustainable food systems in the country? For example, like having effective local policies and practices, which I feel like are crucial in this our area, especially because we have like decentralized governments. So with the decentralized government, we can just create an enabling investment climate for sustainable food system to be able to help us at the local level. Also, another important thing is that we can work with small and medium enterprises on nutrition sensitive and sustainable urban food system. Like here, we support national and local governments in the assessment of food loss and waste along selected value chains, as well as creating incentives for existing like new food value chain actors, mostly in like small and middle enterprises, so that it can help us in feeding, especially the urban population. And there's also a project that FAO is doing that I feel is very important in reshaping the food system. So the project is being done in Kenya. So they are reinforcing a territorial approach to food system in that they're integrating actions for innovations in food system in rural and urban community projects that focuses on two main areas, that is providing concrete examples of practical interventions that can achieve multiple development goals at the same time. So they're linking like zero poverty to no poverty to zero hunger, to climate action, like so many things that are linking together just with one project. And another one is involving like all the three pillars of sustainability, like in social, economic, and the environmental sector. So one project covers all those. I feel like those are very, very, very important ways of reshaping our food system in a very climate smart way. Yeah, thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Pauline. In the meanwhile, Ellie is back. I don't know if you want to finish your intervention.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm sorry I ran out of network. So from my point of view, policy is very, very important. When there's policy direction, when introducing certain subjects at an early age, adaptation becomes very easy. And for Zambia, we've introduced ag science in the early childhood class through to the university in the curriculum, because we have seen agriculture as the basis for all. If we know what to eat, we will not need hospitals. And everything is derived from the basis of the food that we take. And so I think that way, in mitigating the issues of climate change, we've also, in our agriculture policy, diversified into nutritious crops, growing of nutritious crops, which are linked to SME network in terms of food processing. And we have a number of them. I had my previous colleague that just spoke from Kenya. FAO in Zambia is running programs to do with climate smart agriculture, which is enshrined in our 7th National Development Plan and carried on in the 8th National Development Plan that we are yet to launch as a country. And I think that direction is to help us to continue mitigating, adapting, and conserving our environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ellie. So we have time for one last closing statement. I don't know if someone wants to intervene, even though we are going to eventually close. I think, yes, we have less than 1 minute. So one final statement for Pauline and Rita to close the session.
My statement was that we should encourage, we as youth, we should just encourage each other to take part in the production, processing of agriculture and learning platforms of agriculture so that we can learn on what helps us on daily needs. We should also take action on finding sustainable ways to promote agriculture and tackle climate change issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. The floor to Rita.
I think as Africans, we have a lot to do in demonstrating awareness about better food systems, you know, when it comes to production, thinking of better ways in doing this, sustainable ways of doing things.
Thank you very much to both of you. And thank you for everyone that has followed this food travel dialogue. As I said, we will make another stop or another step this month, most related to what's all going on regarding the food systems in the pre-COP and also in the food system summit that will happen again this month. And so follow us and see our news about new dialogues. Thank you very much for our wonderful speakers, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.